Hi, everybody. I'm gonna send this out. So please stand by. How is everybody doing today? Good, I hope. I've had one hell of a Monday. I'm glad that Monday is almost over. Okay. I think the links are all out. Maybe. I hope my internet's okay. It's acting awfully strange. It seems to be okay though. I don't know. Then pausing there too. Still in a commercial. Not live for you either. Well, it says I'm live. What is going on? Well, can you guys hear me and see me now? YouTube keeps going from streaming to completed, but it's saying that I have good stream health. What the hell, YouTube? Right, Chris? It's totally what it is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's telling me that I got good stream health, but it keeps going back and forth. Super, super glitchy. All right. I'm going to try to restart the router because apparently this isn't working. Ooh. Hopefully this works. Okay, I think we're good now. I hope we're good now. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me and can you see me? And are there any more issues? Okay. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Aw, I'm sorry. Commercials are a bummer. Okay, so I'm all distracted and a little frazzled now. So what were we going to do today? We were going to talk about stickers, and we're going to talk about the pile of mail that I have sitting here. And we are going to talk about the maker box that I got a couple months ago and haven't had a chance to talk about yet. So if everybody is ready, we'll get started. Let's just jump into it, right? Okay, so on No, don't start gaming, Nick. What are you thinking? Don't do it. You'll take up the rest of the bandwidth and then we'll be back to square one. So I on Patreon had said that I have a bunch of these stickers, these ones right here, and I would like to start giving them away. So I had posted a little survey on Patreon asking what people thought I should do. Should I do like Joel and say, send me $1 and I will put that all to charity? Or would you guys like me to do a 50-50 where I take 50% of it, put it towards charity, and the other 50% goes into a raffle so that anybody who had sent money in would get money back? I was surprised, but that option got shut down. Every single person suggested doing a full amount to charity. So that's what we will be doing. But now I have to decide what charity it is going to go to. And I'm kind of torn between a couple of them that are near and dear to my heart. I'm thinking it's probably going to be one of 3, and I can't decide which. So I will be putting a poll up. I don't know if I can do a poll on this live stream after it is a recorded video. But if I can, I will put one there. It will also be on Twitter. It will be on Patreon and probably on Facebook as well, so that you guys, anywhere that you are, can help me pick which charity the money will go to. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I already got my first one from one of my Patreon supporters. And he did send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And he said in here, greetings from the 3D printing capital of Kent, Washington. Enclosed are a couple of dollars, or rather dead presidents, for your charity and a sticker. See you on the interwebs. Kevin Wirecat Thomas. Thank you, Kevin. So he did send me a sticker, which I live by this sticker. Coffee or die. It's awesome. And then he also sent a couple of dollars. Now, I don't know yet what I'm going to use to collect said dollars. So for right now, I will put them in a filament box for now. So that is where that is going to go for the time being. Maybe I need to make another bank. Do you guys have any suggestions for banks you'd like me to use or create? Oh, we do have a giant Darth Vader head. A gear bank. Oh, that'd be a good idea. I have made a bunch of different banks. I've made a dragon. I've made a unicorn. I've made a gigantic Mario question mark, or rather mine was small. Joel's was gigantic. A printer bank. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Ooh, a giant shoe. Gosh, you guys are full of good ideas. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do to, what I'm going to put all of the monies into. But if you are interested in sending a self-addressed stamped envelope and the dollar will go to charity. Like I said, I'm not sure which yet. One of the ones that it may be going to is called Be the Match. It is a bone marrow stem cell company that helps you find a donor that matches you. And that's near and dear to my heart because my dad had a bone marrow transplant when I was 17. And if it wasn't for them, we would not have found a donor because none of us in the family matched. So that is huge to me. They are a fabulous company helping people find matches, which is awesome. A friend of ours, a couple friends of mine have gone through breast cancer, so it may be a breast cancer one. Or it might be animal related because I'm a sucker for all things animals. So it's going to be something, one of those probably, and I will put a poll up. Yeah, so that is that, and I will definitely be sending Kevin a sticker. It kind of looks a little washed out on here, but they're pretty cool stickers. if I do say so myself. So thank you, Kevin. You are awesome. So that takes care of the stickers. The next thing on the agenda is the stuff that I have gotten in the mail, which is some incredibly awesome stuff lately. I got those stickers from Sticker Junkie. Yes, stickerjunkie.com. I don't have a G-Max, so I can't G-Max size anything. I don't know if I'll be able to make the mini stream. I may. I will let you know for sure as it gets closer to it. And oh, I did not know that, Mike. I may find a local animal rescue near us. Lately, our animal rescues have been short on animals. We've been looking for a puppy and having a hard time finding one. All right, so next on the agenda is things that I have gotten, and the first box is from Filamentum. I reached out to Filamentum because I am currently working on the glitter review. I have started printing I've started the Filament PM and the Protopasta prints, and lots more are going to be coming here soon. I am seriously working on that because I want to get it out as soon as possible. There's only one more company that I'm aware of that I still have not heard back from yet. I'm hoping to get in touch with them maybe this week or so, and hopefully I can get them to send me some of theirs as well, and then I will have all of the glitter filaments that I know of that exist as of right now. So, this is from Filamentum. They sent me a bunch of samples. They sent me the Vertigo Gray, which is super, super pretty. I've seen lots of pictures of it. It looks much lighter in color in the spool, in the non-printed plastic, as it does in actual prints. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. They sent me a little bit of the Rapunzel Silver. Now these aren't like super glittery, but they do have some glitter fleck to them, which is why I wanted to include them, especially once they print. You can see the glitter fleck a little more prominently than you can in the spool itself, but it's not like a full-on glitter flake like you would get with the, say, Protopasta. And then they sent me some of this, which I believe is a pearl blue. Look at that color. It's so pretty. It comes off so bright on camera. And it looks like it has some glitter fleck in it as well. I'm super excited to try this out. So I think I'm going to jump straight to doing these ones next because they're already sitting on the counter. I am loving the colors so far, and I think they will be perfect for a project that I have going on. So that brings me to item number 2, which stand by. So when I said on Twitter that I was looking for a place where I could get Filamentum spools because I saw those colors and realized they would be absolutely perfect for a project that I'm working on, I asked for resellers in the US, and the first statement was Filament One. I did look at their website. They do offer free shipping to the US, but then Spanner Hands reached out and said that he ships to the US and he has very competitive pricing. Now I looked at his pricing to see how it compared to, say, Filament One or to Amazon, which also sells Filamentum, and his prices were so much better. I was shocked. But then he went a step above that and decided to send me 3 spools of filament. One that I was specifically looking for, and then 2 additional ones, which is absolutely amazing of him. Super nice of him to do. And I was really surprised. So if you go to buy just one spool from him and you are in the US, it is not as cost effective because the shipping is fairly high. But if you buy 2 spools, it's cheaper than anywhere else I was able to find it in the US. So keep that in mind if you are interested. I will put a link. Hey Nick, can you go on Spanner Hand's website and grab their link and put it in the chat for me since you're in there? Please and thanks. So the first he sent me was the one I was actually looking for, and that is the Gold Happens. The Gold Happens is, it does have a little bit of a gold fleck to it, just like the Rapunzel Silver does. It's not quite as prominent, it doesn't seem. I have not opened it yet though, so I can't completely confirm that, but based on pictures I've seen of it, it does look like it's got a little bit of a fleck to it. So I was interested in the gold. It also looks like the perfect shade of gold. It's not too yellow, not too brassy, and that's really what I was looking for. So he sent me one of those. And then he sent me some of the Vertigo Gray. So I do have now a full spool that I can play with. So I will be able to print one of the larger models that I was planning on doing for the glitter review that I wasn't sure I'd be able to do on all of the ones that I got because some of the smaller sample sizes, I don't know if there will be enough. So he sent me one of those. And lastly, we were talking about blues, which is great because I'm out of like a typical blue. I used the last of my Polymax. So all I have are like more translucent blues. So now I have the Noble Blue from Filamentum as well, which looks like the perfect shade of like a royal blue. So that was absolutely awesome of him to send. And he also included this absolutely adorable Spanner Hands keychain. Let me get it out of the package here. How cute is he? A little purple guy. So I'm going to have to print one of these little models with them as well. He does have this model on Thingiverse, I believe. And I also love his spool holders, and I'm thinking of ordering one of his spool holders because it looks like a pretty awesome one, and I'd actually like one for each printer. I don't know if I'll be able to afford one for each printer to start off with, but I am definitely going to buy one of them and see how it goes. Stealing rolls of filament is a crime. Maybe not punishable by death, but it is severely punishable. All right, I'm going to try to read through some of these really quick. Yes, anybody shipping in the UK, you get an awesome deal. I think if you are over 60, you get, if you buy 60 pounds worth, you get free shipping through Spanner Hands. I believe that's what his website said. Yeah, so I'm super excited to try out all of those spools, and huge thank you to Spanner Hands for sending me that. It was super awesome of you to do, and thank you. You were awesome. I know I can print his spool holder, and I may, but I kind of want one that he's printed to see how his goes. Plus, I don't know if I have a printer large enough that will print it well. I mean, I would think it could print on the, well, it'd probably fit on the Zix. Well, I have the Zix. We'll see. Anyway, so maybe I might just print it, but I have a feeling I'll probably buy one. Okay, so what else do I have here? I think that's it in terms of things that I've bought. I mean, there's a lot of things I've been buying for a project, but I can't share that with you yet. And I think that's all that I've had sent. Oh, no, I'm missing something. I lied. During my Zix review, or it wasn't really a review, but my unboxing and first impressions, I talked about wanting to try flexibles on it, and Zix was nice enough to send me a spool of their flexible filament in gray. This is their Pro Flex, which looks really nice. Let me open it up. Top secret, super classified. Have I always had the Triness? I got the Triness of... Oh man, when did I get that? Back in... It's been a while. It's not a new printer. I don't know the stats on this Flex. It's not quite as flexible as Ninja Flex. I can tell you that right now. It doesn't have much stretch to it. It feels a little bit more like the Cheetah Flex in terms of stiffness. So I'm very excited to try this out. The thing that I am wanting to try flexibles on is the high heels that I'm working on. I'm going to be printing the base of the high heels in nylon, and then I wanted to print the tops of them in flexible. So I guess we'll see how that works. I've only printed nylon over this weekend for the first time, and that went fairly well. It was a very small piece I was printing. If you want to see a pretty entertaining fail, you can go on my Instagram at Abuzz Designs, and you can see where I forgot to clip down my glass bed. So it just moved over and it made this really pretty pattern. Was it before, Merv? It must have been. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've had that. So in addition to sending me the Pro Flex, Zix also sent me their soft spring and their little spring compressor to help. And it says, unload the filament, replace the spring, load soft filament. Remember to put back the original spring after use. So it's a much softer spring than you would normally use. So I will be testing this out as well as their flexible, and I think we've got a little bit more flexible in the house, so I'll be trying out a couple different ones, and then I will include that in my review, or I might include it in a separate review, because I don't want to make the review way too long. So that's it. That was the last thing I'd been sent. I knew I was forgetting something. Now to talk about the Maker Box. Now, I actually was sent the Maker Box back in April. Actually, I think it was end of April, beginning of May. I'm not sure. It's been a while, though. And I just haven't had the opportunity to talk about it between going to Maker Faire and kind of everything else that's been going on. Does this have a date on it? 4/28. So it's been a while. I got it at the beginning of May. So we're going to talk about it. So Maker Box, you can go on their website. It is makerbox.me. I'm going to pull up their website for a second. So Maker Box sends you filament samples. Now you can get the 4 box, which is what I got, which sends you 4 samples of filament, and that is $19. Or you can get the bi-monthly box, which sends you 8 samples, and that one is $38. So instead of getting just those 4 samples at once, you'll get those 4 plus the next month's 4 at once. So you'll get it every other month. And the, oh, I guess I should have, there we go. Now you can actually click the link. Okay, so I've put the link in the chat if you're interested or if you want to look up a little more information. So I'm going to go through, I only printed a couple of little things with them, but I at least printed with them so I could kind of get an idea of the filaments themselves. So the first sample that I got is this one right here, which is the Beaver filament. which is a silk filament. And it's an interesting material. It reminds me of the polyalchemy. It just is different than a typical PLA. It prints very differently in terms of like its texture while it's printing and the way that it looks while it's printing. So I printed my first print always with a new filament is always my keychain, which prints standing up like this, which kind of gives me an idea of overhangs, plus you have this hole in the top. And then because of the heart at the bottom, it does show me how it prints really well. And I found that I had started the print off too high a temperature. I started at 210, which is smack dab in the middle of their range, which ended up being too hot. I ended up dropping it back to 200 degrees, which did a lot better, which was the bottom of the range. But I almost wonder if it needed to go even a tiny bit lower. But overall, they printed pretty well. I did knock one of them over. Well, I didn't, but my bed apparently wasn't completely level, so one of them did fall over. So I ended up with only 5 instead of 6. And overall, it printed really, really nice. It's a really nice color. And I know that they sent out multiple colors. I believe they sent out the green and maybe the pink, I think. So they seem like really nice filaments. I had been wanting to try some of the beaver silk, so I'm glad that I was able to try it. They do recommend a slightly slower speed with this. I used the same G code on everything that I printed, so they all printed at 60 millimeters a second on the Trinus. The next is the buzzed filament, and this is made with the byproduct from the beer making process. Hey Sweets, you want to work on making us some filament with your beer making leftovers? So same thing that I did with this one. I printed some of these. And I was kind of expecting it to smell a little bit like beer smells after you've brewed it. But I didn't really smell anything at all. So maybe my nose just wasn't working that day, or maybe it just did not have a very strong scent. Same goes with this one. I printed it smack dab in the middle of the range, around 200, and that ended up being perfect for this. It's got a little bit of a fleck to it, which is the byproduct in it. It printed great. I think that it's a little gimmicky with having it have the beer making byproduct in it, but that wouldn't stop me from buying it. The color is not necessarily a color that I would use very frequently, but if I was going to be painting over it, I wouldn't care. Have any of you guys ever used the buzzed PLA from 3D Fuel? I'd love to know your thoughts on it too. So I still have a good amount of all of these left, which is good, so I can kind of play around with them a little bit more. Next is one that I can't show you the spool because it's still loaded on the Trinus back there, because I was trying to get a couple of these new keychains I was working on done, but it was taking too long, so I canceled it because I wanted to live stream, and it's a little noisy. So I printed some of the keychains again, and they printed really well. This is with the Mailbox PLA, so this is their own brand of PLA. I didn't know they had their own brand of PLA, but now I do. I printed these at 200, and like I said, they seem to do really, really well. They all did really good on the overhangs and on the little circle parts. And I had re-leveled the bed, so I actually got 6 keychains out of this one. So yeah, so they turned out really, really well. And in terms of a black PLA, compared to the Zix Pro PLA. It's about the same color of black. The Zix seems to be a little bit shinier. I don't think I have any of, well, Nick, I'm going to use your car. Oops. In terms of comparing it to the Atomic Black, the Atomic is a little bit more of a blue black, whereas the Mailbox one is more of like a charcoal black. So that gives you an idea of where it stands in its coloring. And there was one more. So that I got the 4-pack. It sends 4 different filaments. That is 3 of the 4. The last one is the Glitter Flake, which I have used this one many times. I love this one. And I may or may not have 2 spools of it. And I'm super, super excited to start printing out a little bit more. So I was able to print a couple of my new keychains, and there's a reason why I printed both a flat keychain and one that stood on its side. When I was talking to Alex from Protopasta over at Murph, we were talking about how the glitter flake laid down differently depending on the size of the flake that was used. And he said that in some of them that they were trying, it looked better if it was a flat top layer, whereas others looked better along the side. So the smaller the flake, he said it looked better along a vertical side, and the bigger the flake, it looked better laying down flat. So I wanted to print something that I could test both for the glitter filament testing that I'm going to be doing. And so these will be the first 2 tests, and then I do have a unicorn that 3D printed Aspie designed that I will be doing, as well as 1 or 2 other, depending on how much I can get out of sample sizes, that I will be doing as well. So the Protopasta Glitter Flake did a really, really good job printing upright, but as you can see, you don't see a ton of glitter in the sides. But if you look at it straight on, you get a lot more glitter. It's kind of hard to see that in this light. There will be a better video coming, I promise. But that's why I wanted to show both something that printed more flat versus vertical, because you can definitely see, even in the color difference, one is much lighter, one is much darker, because you can see a lot more of the glitter flake in this than you can in the more vertical print. So keep that in mind when you're orienting your prints, especially if you're using a glitter-filled filament. You will want to pay attention to how you orient it. So I printed all of those. Protopasta, as always, printed amazingly. And they are this is an HT PLA, so I could, in theory, bake it to make it a little bit stronger. I don't feel the need to do that at the moment, but I could if I needed to. So that is the maker box. I think that if you are the person who likes to try filaments just to try them out, this would be a great box for you, because you get to try a bunch of really cool filaments without having to buy full spools. And that way, if you end up not liking one, you didn't waste a bunch of money buying a full spool of it. If you don't like having samples laying around, I wouldn't get it. It would drive you crazy, because you do end up with a bunch of samples. If you like to print bigger things and you would rather them come out of just one spool, this would not be the box for you. But if you're printing smaller things like keychains for me, which I give away with each of my Etsy orders, then it's something that I don't mind having a lot of samples or ends of spools sitting around. So in terms of the maker box, they also send you out some stickers. So I have a printed solid sticker, a maker box sticker, a toner plastic sticker, and my favorite sticker of all is the I print with glitter from Protopasta. I picked one of these up at Murph. I really need to get my boards. I'm going to be making boards for back there, and one of them is going to be a sticker board. One of them is going to be an epic failure board. plus a couple other things. So those boards need to go up soon so that A, it's a little bit brighter because those will be white, not the red wall behind me. But also because I've got a ton of stickers that are needing to go up. So that's it. Did I miss any questions in the chat while I was rambling on?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, good. Thanks. So does anybody have any questions? Trying to think of what other things. I can't tell you about what I'm working on right now. Two of the things I'm working on right now I can't tell you. One of them I'll never be able to. Sorry.
You get a lot of difficult print samples in the maker box, for new users at least.
The ones that I received were not difficult at all. In fact, all of them used my standard settings with the difference of just editing some temperature settings. So, but I do know that they have sent out some wood PLAs, they have sent out some brass PLAs, some bronze fill, things like that. So it could, but I don't think that should deter you from getting it. It's a great opportunity for you to play around with a new type of filament that you may not have wanted to play around with previously. And for all you know, you might fall in love with it. For example, if you got a bronze fill, it might not be something that you wanted to spend the $50 on, but to get a large sample of it, that would allow you to play around with it and see if you would think it's worth getting. And that might give you enough of dialing in your settings that when you do get a full spool, you're not having to redial in your settings all over again. I did sort out my troubled print from Instagram. That was actually a request from a coworker of mine. A friend of hers has a convertible and a mouse chewed through one of the gears that allowed the convertible top to go up and down. So she was unable to use her convertible top. And now that summer is here, it's gorgeous outside. She really wanted to, so I was asked if I could redesign or copy that piece and print it. So I printed it out using nylon. It was my first time ever printing with nylon, but there was a minor failure that happened that was pretty entertaining. But it did work out, or at least I hope it did. I delivered it today, so hopefully it did actually work. Am I working on something bigger than a boombox? No. I'm working on a couple of things. One I can tell you is the pair of heels. I did post a sneak preview of that on Patreon and a sneak preview of that on Twitter. The one on Patreon is a little further along, which is going to be a lot of fun to finish. I had to put it aside to finish that gear though. How do I find time to make videos or stream? I schedule it. Every Monday I know that I'm going to be live streaming now, so I schedule it. And I actually find live streaming once a week helps me actually be able to film for once a week because the filming, editing, and uploading process does take a significant amount of time, way more time than just live streaming itself. So taking some of that off of myself to not have to do full video editing for 2 different videos a week has made it a lot easier for me to keep up with things. But I do also try to film in advance as much as possible. So right now I just need to edit the next coffee table video, and that one will be ready to go up. And in the meantime, I will be filming another video this week. And I try to stick to uploading on Thursdays for Patreon and then live on Fridays and then live streaming on Mondays. So it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I'm trying to stick with it. I'm going to try. I'm going to contact them. I mean, I said very loudly that I needed some of it for The Glitter Review, I haven't heard anything from them, so I will be reaching out. Have I ever tried Color Fab before? I have a couple spools of Color Fab. I've used a couple samples before, but that's kind of it. I used a little bit of Engine that Calvin had sent me in pink. I ordered some from Printed Solid this week in purple, but I haven't gotten it yet. I think it arrived today at the P.O. box, but I wasn't able to get there yet. So that I will be trying. I do have some bronze fill that I have not gotten a chance to play around with yet, but I will be very soon. We have not played with polycarbonate yet.
Any new printers on the way?
I'm still waiting on my Prusa, but that is it as of right now. Can you guys hear when Nick calls a question out, or am I just answering questions that nobody can hear?
Oh no, they can hear me.
Okay, good.
The quotes are coming up, MC Nick on the mic. Nick is the backbone for the question.
So I have talked about wanting to do another design live stream where I design something while you guys are watching, and you guys can ask questions about why I'm doing the things I'm doing, or how I got into design, or anything regarding that. But I have a real difficult time referring back to questions while I'm designing, so I need somebody to be able to rapid fire them off to me while I'm maybe at a good temporary stopping point in a design. So I have recruited Nick for that. I don't know when we're going to do one of those, but we will at some point. My chat just jumped.
Any experience with the rigged ink out of rigged ink filaments? They're UK based.
Rigid ink?
Sure, rigid. Sorry, I can't read.
I have tried. I have a couple samples from them that they sent me, and I've tried one of them, and I think it was their PLA, and it printed really nicely. I think I have some of their PETG and a couple other PLAs, but I have not gotten a chance to try them all out yet.
I'm being called shy and quiet.
Shy and quiet.
Up on, like, introverted ways.
Right. He's like the definition of an introvert. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Color Fab economy. I haven't tried it yet. I wish they just had some more colors in the economy. Yeah, so Prusa's lead times dropped, but only for the pre-built printers. The kits are still a fairly long lead time. Plus, I ordered the multi-material kit, which means I could be waiting a while for it. I'm not sure. So we'll see. It is not on the way yet. I have not gotten a shipping confirmation yet. But that is definitely the next one I know of that I'm getting. I'm still toying with the idea of getting a CR10, but I'm still kind of torn on it. Yeah, I thought it was a little strange that the pre-built is a 4-week lead time, but the kits are a 7-week lead time. I don't know if they do all of the same testing on the kits, but that would mean that they would have to build them and then take them apart, which may be why it's longer than just the pre-built in the first place. But I can't confirm that because I'm not exactly sure if he in fact has them assembled and then unassembled. If so, then that is awesome of them, because that means that they are making sure that quality assurances are in place to make sure that you are getting the printer they expect you to be getting. And I bet they probably catch a lot of issues before it even reaches you. So it would make sense. Yeah, so I mean, I totally understand why when you first think about it, you think, oh, well, it's a kit, so they don't have to put it together. But if they are putting it together and then taking it apart, then it totally makes sense as to why you wouldn't get it as fast. And I'm okay with that because I actually would really like to put it together myself. I feel like I would learn a lot more about the printer and how it works if I'm putting it together myself. Plus, like I said, I did order the multi-material kit, which is out even further. And I didn't break my order up into 2 separate shippings, although I probably should, so that I don't have to wait until like September to get it. Of course, at this rate, September's going to be here before I know it. So, but then I'm going to be really bummed when I'm in Poland in September and my printer shows up and I'm not able to put it together because I'm out of the country. So, does anybody have any other questions? If not, we're going to wrap up. I'm trying to decide what my next video is going to be. Can you eat more ice cream? Is that even a question? I mean, you might not want to because it was super rich, but it's ice cream, so go for it. I'm trying to decide what the next video will be. I may start on the glitter videos. I'm going to break them up into a couple of different sections because otherwise it would be one really long video, which I'm worried you guys won't want to actually watch. So I'm going to break it up into a couple of different videos. I haven't decided if I'm going to do similar to what like Heather did, where it was one video for each company. I may do that, but I'm not sure yet. We will see. So I might start on that this week, or I might actually get one more of the gear table videos up and running. All right, well, thank you guys all for stopping by and for watching. I super, super appreciate it. Don't forget, if you are interested in a sticker, we are going to be doing a send me $1 and a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I will send you a sticker. That will be going to charity. As for which charity, I have yet to decide. I will keep you guys posted on that. I may keep that section to once a month, depending on how busy live streams get. If I start wanting to actually incorporate more things like talking about the maker box into a live stream, doing a design live stream, then I might keep the sticker part of it to 1 or 2 days a month, so that whatever I'm focusing on gets the entire video. Well, thank you guys all for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I am trying to upload live to the public every Friday, and then every Monday is a live stream. So definitely stay tuned. If you are interested in throwing a couple dollars my way on Patreon, it is also greatly appreciated. And also don't forget, I do have an Etsy store, although right now all that's on there is fidget spinners because they're selling like freaking hotcakes. Thanks, Chris. I will keep on stickering with it. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your night. I hope this perked up your Monday a little bit. I know it did for me, and I will see you guys again next time.